Unfortunately, someone decided to break into the Frost Beach Row and try to take some money during that about 7-minute game. Why not find something else to do and work for pay? That's absurd, as it ruins everything in your life, including your emotional well-being. You may have assumed that Kirk, Frost, and Jasmine's drama was over, but this is about to blow up because right as you. Rumor has it that Jasmine, oh sis, did not take it well when Kirk recently requested full custody of their kid, Cannon. According to witnesses, Jasmine broke items and screamed loudly when she abruptly showed up at Kirk's house. Jasmine chose to make sure they did, as if it could get any messier. There have been reports of an attack on Kirk's home, and guess who is at the heart of the trouble? Jasmine. The way everything transpired is straight out of a reality TV screenplay, I promise you, sweetie. Furniture and even directly threatening Kirk, but it didn't stop there. The fallout is expected to turn ugly, and security was supposedly called. What then caused Jasmine to lose it? Why did Kirk choose to assume complete responsibility for Cannon? And most of all, what will occur next? The TM is going to leak, honey, so you better stay locked in. Let's take a moment to reflect on how we got here because, although Kirk and Jasmine have seen their share of ups and downs, this most recent outburst is set to change everything. This isn't just a battle, believe me. It's the culmination of years of bitterness, treachery, and manipulation, and it's all being shown for the world to witness. When I say messy, I mean that reality TV. Producers are most likely taking notes while lounging at home. Their relationship has never been steady, as you are fully aware. When it was discovered that Jasmine had raised a child with Kirk while he was still married to Rashida, she became well known. Oh, you recall the controversy that practically destroyed love and hip-hop Atlanta. Rashida was humiliated nationally when the truth came out that Kirk had been playing house with Jasmine behind her back. Somehow, Rashida remained in spite of the betrayal, even though fathering a kid with Jasmine constituted an all-new level of disdain. But things only got worse once Cannon was born, as Jasmine began asking Kirk for more money than just the usual amount for child support. Kirk, oh no, CIS wanted premium child support, which included cash for fancy clothes, tuition at a private school, and enough to keep Cannon living like a celebrity baby. He refused to accept it. In the present day, Kirk and Jasmine have been at odds for years over custody. Jasmine made sure to uphold Kirk's restricted visitation privileges with Cannon, which have always existed. Jasmine would display the receipts whenever Kirk tried to see his son, threatening to expose more of Kirk's dubious actions if he didn't cooperate. People with knowledge of the situation say that Kirk, oh Kirk, made an effort to be kind until Jasmine began acting badly. Insiders claim that Kirk eventually had enough of Jasmine's purported use of Cannon to manipulate him. Kirk decided that the only way to protect Cannon and regain control of the situation was to file for full custody, not joint custody, not extended visitation, and request that Cannon be taken away after witnessing his son requesting more money and even threatening to reveal more details about Kirk's personal life. Irrevocably separated from Jasmine, and everyone was taken aback when the news surfaced online. Sources claimed that after the court documents were filed, Jasmine lost it. She was completely shocked by Kirk's choice, and I mean it when I say she lost it. Kirk, oh Kirk, was finished and not answering when Jasmine allegedly started phoning him nonstop, leaving him threatening voicemails, sending him irate texts, and even showing up at Frost Beach wanting to see him. Witnesses said that Jasmine was shouting at the top of her lungs and hammering on the front door as if she was attempting to break it down when she unexpectedly and unhingedly showed up at Kirk's residence late on a Saturday night. Jasmine wasn't going to leave so easily because the guest was there, but Kirk didn't answer the door. He was not returning her text. Jasmine was unable to manage the calls, and he had formally disconnected her. According to reports, she then went up to Kirk's vehicle, the same high-end SUV he had bought the year before, and started keying it. Jasmine is accused of grabbing a brick and throwing it through the front glass while Kirk was not looking. The security cameras are said to have captured everything as soon as Jasmine broke the window, And let's just say the footage is unflattering. So if you think that's bad, it gets worse. She was seen on tape shouting Kirk's name and threatening to ruin his life if he didn't come outside while she was holding Cannon in her arms. She also pulled Cannon into the mess, which is the most strange aspect. Kirk reportedly opened the door when Jasmine yelled, "You're not taking my son away from me, you hear me? Over my dead body," but not to soothe her, no baby. To summon security, he did this. According to witnesses, Kirk's security officers showed up and made an effort to persuade Jasmine to depart, but she refused to give up. She apparently attempted to enter the house by pushing past security, but the guards stopped her. Jasmine apparently lost it at that time. She started yelling, kicking Kirk out and assaulting the guards. Kirk said, "You're out of control," and Jasmine allegedly retaliated by saying, "You think you can take my son from me? Over my dead body," Kirk at that moment. The paparazzi had already arrived. People were photographing on their phones. The neighbors had already started gathering outside, and social media was exploding. Within minutes, Jasmine's defeat was trending, and the game was finished when the police showed up. However, the footage of Jasmine being escorted away in handcuffs quickly gained widespread attention. According to reports, Jasmine was yelling, "He's lying, he's trying to." Witnesses say that Kirk leaned down and hugged Cannon while she was being loaded into the police car, whispering, "It's okay, buddy, Daddy's got you." Because at the end of the live stream, Jasmine said, "Don't worry, when I get to court, I'm bringing the real receipts." Kirk simply stood there with his arms crossed and his head shaking as if he was over it. But the worst part was that Cannon was crying right there. Less than an hour after Jasmine's live ended, Kirk Frost's lawyer told TMZ that Kirk is dedicated to giving Cannon a safe and secure environment. When the truth is revealed, you will see who the real villain is. Excuse me, what are the real receipts that Jasmine is talking about? Kirk was not having it. Kirk Frost is requesting sole custody of his son, Cannon, because of the unstable and unpredictable behavior of the child's mother. Refused to listen to his lawyer and instead posted a picture of himself and Cannon at a park on Instagram with the caption, "My son comes first always." The comments read, "Oh, they were dragging Jasmine while Jasmine was out here throwing bricks through windows." Although Kirk has been messy in the past, he now seems to be the stable parent, and Jasmine needs to calm down before she actually loses custody. The worst part is that while Jasmine was, the most bizarre part of this story is that Kirk was already acting behind the scenes, as sources claim that Kirk's legal team had already requested a temporary restraining order to keep Jasmine away from him and Cannon until the custody hearing. But that Jasmine had violated the terms of that order when she showed up at Kirk's house the night before, potentially leading to criminal charges in addition to losing custody of Cannon. Since the custody hearing is scheduled for next week, and you already know that the paparazzi will be there, the main question is whether Jasmine will truly move on from this, or if she just threw away any chance of keeping Cannon in her life. If Kirk's team has the receipts they claim to have and Rod does take the witness stand, then yes, Jasmine may be done, but the drama is far from over. Jasmine, you better hope Kirk doesn't have any more dirt to bill. After Jasmine's disastrous Instagram live, Kirk wasn't just watching the drama unfold. No, he was making power moves behind the scenes, and the fallout, oh, it's going to get catastrophic. It's about to get messy. It looks like Kirk may be holding all the cards, and if you thought things couldn't get any messier, prepare yourself for part 3, which is going to take things to a whole new level. Jasmine had genuinely thought that going live would help her case. But you know Kirk was up early, drinking coffee, and looking through the social media chaos following her meltdown. Her live stream had garnered millions of views on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram, and the comments were extremely scathing. Jasmine had basically admitted to using Kirk's money for personal expenses, so it's over for her. Kirk should call his lawyer and obtain full custody today. According to all the sources, Kirk was sitting there taking notes literally about everything Jasmine said during that live stream. It is a big problem that Jasmine admitted that Kirk had been sending her money for Canaan, but that she also used some of it for herself. Oh, hun. Kirk's legal team can now use this information to prove that Jasmine was misusing child support funds, which could be used to destroy her in court. To make matters worse, Kirk's team has just subpoenaed Jasmine's ex to testify in the custody hearing. Oh, you're not prepared for this one. He's been Lopi shading. Kirk was going to use grounds for parental neglect in court, and according to an insider close to Kirk's team, Jasmine just made Kirk's case much easier. Kirk's lawyers only need to play it live in court now, and suddenly Jasmine's credibility is gone. According to one source, Rob has been tired of Jasmine for a while, seeing how unstable she is, and he's ready to tell the court everything. When Jasmine found out that Rod was testifying against her, she reportedly lost it and called Rod 10 times in a row. And when he finally answered, she yelled, "You're really G." Kirk's lawyers have been causing him to lose it for years, and it appears that Rod is more than willing to spill the beans about Jasmine's parenting. According to witnesses, Jasmine showed up at Rod's apartment later that day, banging on his door and screaming loudly enough for the neighbors to hear. Security was reportedly called to remove her from the building, and guess what? That minor incident also made it into Kirk's legal filings. "I'm doing what's best for Canaan," Rod allegedly said after everything we've been through, and that's precisely what happened when Jasmine snapped. Kirk got this custody case off to a great start, but now it's even more complicated because just when you thought Jasmine couldn't make things worse for herself, she did the most rash thing. That same night, Jasmine showed up at Kirk's restaurant without warning with Canaan. Yes, after knowing that Rod was testifying against her and receiving a restraining order for going on a viral tirade, as if nothing had happened. As if nothing had changed, they went into the restaurant with Canaan at her side. Witnesses say Kirk was seated at the bar when he saw her, and his face changed immediately. He immediately got up and walked over to her, asking, "What are you doing here?" Jasmine calmly responded, "We don't have anything to talk about." Kirk reportedly gritted his teeth and shouted, "I'm here to talk." Jasmine responded, "Oh, she wasn't backing down. I'm not leaving until we talk." She was trying to keep her cool, but Jasmine was starting to make a scene. As Jasmine started shouting from the back of the police car, "You're going to regret this, Kirk. I promise you will." And social media went crazy. Kirk had just called the police to arrest Jasmine, who was hugging Canaan. This is some next-level drama, and the most ridiculous part was that Jasmine went completely crazy. Let's pick up where we left off because now that Jasmine is facing charges and Kirk is moving forward with his custody battle, things are going to get even messier, and baby, the foul out. Oh, it's coming, and Jasmine, oh sis, is not ready for what's about to happen next. If you thought Jasmine's meltdown at Kirk's house was bad, you haven't seen anything yet, because the internet went into full meltdown mode after Jasmine was taken away in handcuffs. Twitter was ablaze after the video of Jasmine's arrest surfaced on blogs, and let me tell you, people weren't holding back. Jasmine claimed that Kirk needed full custody at this point because she had arrived at his house with the child and started breaking things. She clearly needed help, but why do I think Kirk might have forced her to do this? The worst part is that the video of Jasmine's arrest wasn't even the worst part. Oh no, because the real story came to light after the police report was made public. The official report stated that Jasmine was charged with trespassing, destroying property, and resisting arrest. And that's not even the messy part. The report also showed, oh honey, that Kirk had already applied for a restraining order before Jasmine even got to the house. Yes, Kirk wasn't just trying to get custody of Canaan, he was actively trying to keep Jasmine away. One fan stated, Kirk has been trying to get rid of Jasmine, and when the blog shared that knowledge, everybody went bananas. Jasmine had been acting strangely for some time, but if Kirk had a restraining order before she lost it, then she had a plan. Another person wrote, Jasmine needs to sit down. This is where things get really messy because while Jazz was sitting in a holding cell trying to figure out how her life had gotten out of control, Kirk was all ready. Yes, Kirk wasn't wasting any time. He was prepared to take Cannon away from Jasmine permanently, and given the way she acted at that house, he might actually have a case. According to insiders, Kirk called his lawyer immediately after Jasmine was arrested in order to file for an emergency custody hearing. Sources close to the case say Kirk's legal team is preparing to argue that Jasmine is in. The worst part is that Kirk's lawyers are also planning to call Jason's ex as a witness, and they have the receipts to back up their claims that Jasmine is an unfit mother. Kirk's team allegedly has already compiled a list of evidence, including Jasmine's inconsistent behavior over the past year, reports from neighbors about her yelling and fighting in front of Cannon, and evidence that she had been using child support payments for personal expenses like designer bags and spot trips. Jasmine's team went into full swing when the blog started to speculate that Rod might testify in court. Oh, you remember Rod? That's the same Rod who helped raise Cannon and essentially stepped in as a father figure when Kirk was out here wilding. It appears that Rod has been tired of Jasmine for a while. Sources claim that Rod has been telling people that Jasmine has been out of control for months and that he is ready to testify that she has been manipulative and emotionally unstable toward Cannon. Jasmine shouted, "Control mode, you're not taking my son from me." Kirk said, "You started this, Kirk. Now you better finish it." Security had already started to move toward them, but Jasmine wasn't finished. She stepped closer to Kirk and said, "You think you've won? You think you're about to take Cannon from me? You don't even know what's coming next." And Kirk, oh, he was done, turned to the security guard and said, "Get her out of here," Jasmine started. As security pulled her away from Kirk, she screamed, "You can't do this to me. You can't take my son and Cannon," adding, "Oh, poor Cannon," was standing there crying as security dragged Jasmine out of the restaurant. Although Jasmine was still screaming outside, Kirk reportedly went up to his son and hugged him, and the worst part was that the entire incident was caught on camera when a curious customer in the restaurant took out their phone and filmed it, which was then posted online. As you are already aware, this is not helping Jasmine's case at all, and I feel bad for Cannon because the baby doesn't deserve this drama. When the video showed Jasmine being dragged out by security while Kirk stood there with Cannon looking composed, Twitter went crazy. Kirk's team was ecstatic because the footage basically proves Kirk's case, which is that Jasmine is unstable, unpredictable, and a threat to Cannon's emotional well-being. The real kicker is that Jasmine's lawyer reportedly dropped her as a client after the video went viral. Yes, Jasmine's own lawyer said, "Yeah, I'm out." It appears that Jasmine had been defying her lawyer's advice for weeks, showing up at Kirk's house and restaurant after receiving a restraining order. Yes, that was the final straw, and Kirk was already celebrating, according to sources. Jasmine's essentially giving Kirk custody at this point is precisely what Kirk's lawyers needed. Oh my goodness, she's going crazy. The next day, she went back to Instagram and posted a long, emotional caption that said, "They're trying to take my son from me." The team is now trying to have Jasmine declared mentally unstable, which would give Kirk full legal and physical custody of Cannon and Jasmine. You guys don't know the whole story, but it might be too late at this point because the court hearing is rapidly approaching and Rod is ready to testify. "I'm not crazy. I'm a mother who loves her child." With Jasmine's breakdown and Liv working against her, Kirk is about to win this case easily, but the drama is far from over because Jasmine isn't going down without a fight. According to people close to her, she plans to drop her own legal bombshell in court, and if it's true, it could reveal some of Kirk's darkest secrets. The big question now is whether Jasmine will pull off a miracle and keep custody of Cannon, or if Kirk is about to walk away with full control over his son's future. This battle is far from over, honey. The big question now is, will Kirk walk away with full custody, or does Jasmine have one last trick up his sleeve? What about Rod? Is he really going to take Kirk's side to court? Has dirt on Kirk, so this may not end the way Kirk hopes, but one thing is certain, this custody battle is going to get even messier. Stay tuned because the court date will be explosive. The next chapter in this drama will unfold, so if you're ready for the next thrilling update, Click the subscribe button and turn on notifications. In the comments, do you think Kirk will prevail or Jasmine will have a chance? Oh no, the mess will just get worse.